Hey y'all, Nathan here again. This is the first of the expansions for the X-Wing Miniatures game from Fantasy Flight Games. That is the X-Wing expansion. Now you might be saying, why do I need an X-Wing expansion when I've already got an X-Wing with the starter game? Well, this is essentially the same X-Wing model here. Same kind of stand, right? Plastic base, the two pieces that build up to give it its ultimate height, although of course you could just cut it down to one. You could add more if you really wanted to, because they are essentially interchangeable. Yes, it does have essentially the same maneuver dial here. What you have though is, by getting this expansion, you don't just get the one more ship. You wind up with more tokens. For instance, now you wind up with ID token numbers 10 and 11. And you have 4 target lock tokens. We have M with N on the back, O with P on the back. You have 1 critical hit token. You have 1 stress token. And because these ships tend to have 2 shield, or a shield value of 2, excuse me, you have 2 shield tokens, and of course you have your focus token there. What really makes this stand out, though, of course, is that you now have other pilots and so forth. So what you get in this particular set, when it comes to these ship cards, you have your rookie pilot, which is essentially the equivalent of the rookie pilot we got in the starter set. We have the Red Squadron pilot, same thing, essentially equivalent to starter set. But you also now have Garven Dreis from Red Squadron. And you now have, of course, Rogue Squadron fans will know him. EU fans will know him very well. Movie fans will remember him as the one who survived each of the films, at least the classic trilogy, and that's Wedge Antilles. So Wedge finally gets to play into this. Now, since you have those 4 pilots, that also means you need to have 2 of the different little, what do you call them, ship tokens here. So you have the one with Wedge Antilles on the back, Red Squadron pilot. You have Garven Dreis on the back, rookie pilot. And you also have your various upgrade cards. In this case, you have proton torpedoes. Of course, you've got X-Wings. Of course, you're going to have proton torpedoes. Essentially what you got in the starter. We have R5K6. We have an R5 Astromech. We have expert handling and marksmanship. And of course, for a reference standpoint, you may not have known this before. Essentially, what is the back of the packaging? Okay, this says 9 cards, 17 tokens, 1 maneuver dial, 1 painted plastic ship with base end pegs. I had to lift it up so I could read the thing. Also on the other side, tells you exactly what is in it, right down to the individual cards. And it does have that maneuver breakdown for you, that table, just like you would have in the starter set, so that you could see what maneuvers are available to the ships, so that both players know, if not what the other player is going to do, at least what the other player has the option to do upon playing. Not a bad little set here. It's essentially $15, but you can get it for cheaper through miniaturemarket.com and elsewhere. Makes a nice addition. So if you're going to be playing with the Rebel side, you might want to go ahead and pick up another X-Wing. I think that the X-Wings are fairly versatile as craft to play with, especially when they're going up against regular TIE fighters. And it is kind of cool not to just have, Luke and some generic pilots, to have Wedge and Dreis as part of what you're playing. I think those two together are pretty cool. And remember, the way that they do these are marked down to a specific type of ship. So these are X-Wing pilots specifically. If you get the Y-Wing expansion pack, you're going to have separate characters, but they're only going to be available for the Y-Wing. We'll be taking a look at that in the near future. So again, a look at the X-Wing Miniatures game, X-Wing Fighter expansion pack for Star Wars Beyond the Films. Thank you for watching. We'll be back.